Yo, what's up guys? Aaron here, and today I'm going to be showing you guys how to change the oil in your car. Okay, so there's a few different types of oil you can buy. First off, you want to look at your owner's manual and it'll tell you what kind of oil to use. Now, you can see it says 5W30, that's what we call viscosity, and that's pretty much saying how thick the oil is. 5W30 is what most cars will take. Some newer cars like the Honda Civic and the Honda Accord will actually take 0W30, and you can see this one is 10W40 and this one's 5W30, so this one's a lot thicker than this one. Anyways, pretty much just make sure that you look at your owner's manual and figure out what it says, and then you want to buy that oil. Okay, there's also synthetic oil and regular oil. If your car is, I'd say, newer than 2010, go ahead and put synthetic in it, and if it's older than 2010, I'd recommend not putting synthetic in it. That's the basics of it. You can put synthetic in older cars, but it's just there's a chance of it you get an oil leak and stuff, so you're better off just using not synthetic. Alright, so there's two different types of oil pans you can get. This one I bought from Pep Boys for like $5. I don't really recommend this kind because they're very hard to clean out. You just kind of pour the oil right into it when you're breaking the bolt loose, but the problem with this is you can't clean it up. There's kind of oil in it always, and it's really hard to pour it out back into a container or something. Alright guys, so this is the kind I recommend. You can get these for like maybe 15 bucks, and it holds 16 quarts, and what's nice about this one is you can actually unscrew this cap, and it actually the whole thing fills up with oil, and so you can actually get a few oil changes out of it, and when you're done you can just pick the thing up and take it to Pep Boys or whatever, and you can actually just unscrew this and pour all the oil out, which is really nice. Okay, and then you're going to want a funnel. Any one will really work. I found that ones with a bigger bottom and a bigger top seem to work better. With small ones like this will also work, it'll just take a little bit longer. Okay, then you're going to need a set of wheel chucks. These work really well because you actually roll your tire onto it, so there's really no chance of them rolling away. I've seen some that don't have that, this part's just cut off. And then you're going to need some jack stands. I got these from Harbor Freight for like 20 bucks. They're really great. Pretty much that's just what's going to hold your car up. You're going to want to make sure you have jack stands. A lot of people just like to change the oil and not use jack stands. It just uses jack. Make sure you use jack stands. And last but not least, you're going to want your jack itself. This is a hydraulic jack, and I got this one for about 100 bucks. But yeah, you should always have one of these. If you don't have one of these, your car usually will have one in the back. It usually comes with one, so look underneath your trunk, you probably have one back there. Alright guys, so my car is jacked up. I don't know if you guys can tell, but I also have my jack under there. So I have jack stands, jacks, and you can see I have my little ramp. I like to do everything I can to make it so the thing's not going to fall down on top of me, and I have everything I possibly can right now. And it would be nice if eventually I could get a lift in my garage, but right now don't have the money. Alright guys, so we're now underneath the car. So I'm going to show you guys where the drain plug is. So first thing you gotta do is look at your oil pan. That right there is our oil pan. All cars are different, but you'll see that there is an oil pan right there. And we're just going to look around and see if we can find that drain plug. And that right there is our drain plug. And you can see it's just a little plug sticking right outside of this little like tank looking thing right on the bottom of your engine. Now make sure you find that plug, because if it looks different, it's probably not your drain plug. And if you're wondering where your drain plug is and you can't find it, look in your owner's manual, because they usually tell you where it is in your owner's manual. Alright, so we're going to put our oil pan underneath the drain plug, and we're going to go get our sockets. Really just kind of feel it out. Your owner's manual should tell you what size the bolt is, and if you can't figure out what size it is, just try them all out and see which ones fit. There we go. Once it gets to the point that you think you can get loose with your hand, do it, because it's going to start dripping. It should just pull right out like that. And you can see here's our drain plug, and now the oil is just pouring out like it should. Alright guys, so this drain plug in particular doesn't have a washer, but when you take the drain plug out of your car, it usually has a little metal washer that goes around it. If you have one of those, make sure that you take it out and you replace it. And if you don't have one, usually your drain plug will have one built in, and so it's probably best to replace your drain plug I'm not going to, but if you guys don't have a washer and you know you have a built-in one, you might want to replace that. Alright guys, so our oil is just sitting there draining. It's going to take a while. And one thing you're going to want to do is go up here and take your cap off, because that's going to help you allow more oil to pour out. And you can see a nice amount is pouring out now. And just kind of let it wait. It's going to take probably about, I'd say 5 to 10 minutes for it all to come out. And just a little waiting game. Alright, so if you guys haven't changed your oil in a long time, it's a very good idea to change your oil filter. I'll make a separate video on how to do this, but the oil filter is right there. That's your oil filter, and once you undo your drain plug and all the oil is drained out, you want to go ahead and unscrew that. And I'll make a whole separate video on how to do that. So if you do need to change it, I'd say every 2,000 miles change your oil, and every, I'd say, 3,000 or 4,000 miles you want to change your oil filter. So it's a very good idea to do that. I usually change my oil filter every time. I personally just changed the oil in this car like a week or two ago, so we're not going to change the oil filter, but if you want to know how, go ahead and go to my other video and I'll show you guys how to do that. Alright, and then we're going to go back underneath our car and we're going to plug it back up. Alright guys, so a lot of people, when they put their drain plug back on and they screw it on, they way over tighten it. Look at your torque specs on your owner's manual and use a torque wrench. I'm personally not going to use a torque wrench because I've done it so many times. But just tighten it enough that you feel resistance. You don't want it to be so tight. Like, right, let's see. That should be just about good right there. You don't want it to be too tight. Don't over tighten it because you will strip it and you'll have to get a new oil pan, and that always sucks. Alright guys, you can see there's a bit of a mess over there, so I'm just going to take a little microfiber cloth and just kind of wipe around here to make sure there's no oil. You don't want that burning off later near the headers. So we're just going to wipe that all clean, make sure all the oil is off, and then we're almost done. Alright guys, so this car in particular takes 5 quarts of oil. So we're just going to go ahead and put our little funnel right there. Make sure you don't fill it up too fast because it will overflow and get all over your engine, and that's a good way to start a fire. Like I almost just did right there. Alright guys, so now that we went in and put our 5 quarts of oil in, we're going to screw our cap back on and we're going to check the engine oil with our dipstick right there. Alright guys, so go ahead and take your dipstick out, and then I'm using a little bit of microfiber. You're just going to wipe it off. Using a towel or a paper towel, just wipe it off till your dipstick is clean, and then go ahead and dip it back in all the way to the bottom, and then get it back up, and we'll see if we have any oil on the end of it. And you can see we have a good amount of oil on the end. I don't know if you guys can tell from the lighting. Let me try to get a better view here. You guys can see it's reading about the halfway mark, which is good. You don't want to overfill it. You're better to underfill it than overfill it, so you guys can see that's pretty good. Alright guys, now keep in mind, once you start your car, the oil level will go down, and you want to actually check it when it's hot. So let your car run for a little bit, then check the oil again and see if it's still at the same mark. If not, fill it up a little bit more and make sure that it's at the halfway mark. Alright guys, that's how you change the oil. It's that simple. There's not a lot to it. Just practice makes perfect. Every time you'll get better at it. And if you want to change your oil filter, go ahead and check out my other video. Hope you guys enjoyed that, and see you guys later. Peace.